Hey there toy fans, this is Wesatron. We are finally back, and today we are going to be taking a look at NECA's Bioshock Infinite Motorized Patriot action figure. This is from their Player Select line and was released probably within the last month and a half or so, fairly recently. I got it in the mail a while back from Big Bad Toy Store, and I paid $29.99 for it, and I haven't had the chance to open it yet, so let's look at it together. Packaging-wise, it's the same clamshell that we're used to seeing from NECA, except it's much wider than normal. A standard clamshell would probably only come over to about here, so this is considered a deluxe figure for them. Down here you see Motorized Patriot, a picture of the character from the game, along with the pepper mill. Underneath, we do have our, you see some of the dust there, our credits. We've got Randy Falk, Alex Henke, Brad Haskins, Wardell, and Trapp. A lot of these names that we're used to seeing from NECA who just turn out really great work, so very excited about that. No art on the sides to speak of. On the back, we've got a shot of the figure, the alternate head, and a little bit of a blurb about the character. So, very cool there. Not much to say about the packaging. Like I said, pretty standard fare from NECA. Let's get this guy out and see what he's like. And here's the Motorized Patriot out of packaging. This guy is really, really impressive. The whole design of it is really, really fantastic. The paint's very well done. The sculpt is incredible. We'll take a close-up of all of that. And the pepper mill itself is actually really, really nice. So you can see right now I do not have this completely in his hand, and over here not completely in his hand either. I'd heard on someone's review that the handles are a bit rigid, so I don't want to risk breaking the plastic. So eventually I will heat this up and put it in there properly, but for the sake of the review where I'm going to have to show it off, I do want to kind of keep it to where it's easily accessible. But as you can see, he can hold it in his hand, it's just, it feels a bit tight. So he does come with his alternate head here. So you can see, this is a really nice piece right here. Get a little more light on it. I really, really like this because it's got like, whoa, there he goes. It's got the like the brass look of the almost kind of steampunky, lots of gears and stuff. Well, not steampunky so much as just classic. These look like the pedals on an old style organ, if you've ever seen those. We've got wood for the lower jaw, and then, you know, bracket actually going to the jaw. I mean, this actually really looks like it could be functional in some way, which is really cool. Plus, it's like see-through from the side and stuff, so very neat. The ball joint on this is very tight, and because of the collar, it makes it a little bit hard to swap, but it's not impossible. So that's really handy. And plus, because it connects via ball joint, it does have a very nice range of motion as well. So the figure itself, as you can see, 360 degrees, just really, really, really nice. That pepper mill is huge too. Look how far this sticks away from his body. That's an enormous gun. And also, I'm going to pull back a little bit. See how huge his flags are as well. Just absolutely enormous. And these are cloth, which is very, very nice. It gives a really nice kind of realism to the piece. And one thing I really like about these also is that they are very easily removable. Whenever it's time to like move stuff around or pack things away, it's really helpful when things pop out easily. So very simple design work on these, nothing too complicated. You can see just a standard little flagpole, but the cloth is actually fantastic. The pattern of the tears and everything is identical, you can see. So that's pretty cool, and this is a nice sturdy cloth. It's not going to break apart too easily, but you can see it's kind of designed to look a little torn up anyway, but very, very cool. And for you Super Patriots out there, you can clearly see that this is not the US flag, so no worries there about it being tattered and stuff. I know there's some people who are upset with the Four Horsemen about the Ravens project because of that very thing. Next, we'll go ahead and just get the pepper mill out and take a look. I know in the game, I don't think it actually refers to this gun as the pepper mill, but early on, they were referring to the Gatling gun or the minigun, whatever you want to call it. I think it's technically a Gatling gun because you actually turn a crank to fire it. I'm not 100% sure if that's right, if I'm just making it up, but Originally, they were calling this the pepper mill, so I have a tendency to call it that. So forgive me if that doesn't sound right to you. But very, very nice. You can see they did this really nice gunmetal all over the barrels and everything. Very, very cool. On the bottom, we've got this nice kind of banding look. This is really wanting to focus on the background, isn't it? There we go. We've got some brass on the sides there, nice rivets. On the top here, we've got a little piece that folds over to cover the barrels. It almost kind of looks like at one point maybe this was designed, or they were planning on designing it to work with real bullet chain, but it didn't come with one, and I think this may just be just a fun side play feature. But very cool that you can actually, like spent, okay, new rounds in, click that down, and you can start again. When I started looking at this, it occurred to me very quickly that being a NECA piece and being the Infinite series, which tend to have a little more play features, there was a good chance that this was actually going to do more than I thought, and I was 100% right. If you actually turn the crank, the barrels do rotate, which I think is very, very cool. It's dumb, as an adult, we're not going to sit around on the floor and play with these, but it's really fun, and it's cool. You can actually see the bullets rotating in there and everything. Very, very handy. There's no rotation on the back here or anything. The handles themselves don't rotate on their own axes. This is just kind of a solid piece for the most part, except for the working parts. So this whole lever piece turns, but the actual handle on it does not. Or at least I haven't been able to move it on mine, and I don't want to risk breakage. So very, very cool piece. I'm very excited because I spent most of the game carrying one of these around with a carbine. So when Booker comes out, he may have to usurp this from our Mr. Washington here. So very cool. Let's get a little closer on here. As you can see, our Mr. Washington is looking fantastic. The porcelain masks that these guys are equipped with throughout the game is just, it's really, really very well realized. Let me get a little bit of light over here. Just fantastic. You can see they've got the perfect cracks along here and everything. They've put some dry brushing, or not dry brushing, but some washes in there, I think, to kind of make that stand out. Either that or they painted it very deeply and then painted over it, because these cracks actually do go quite deep into the sculpt. Just fantastic work. You can see he's got a missing eye. This eye looks kind of off to the right a little bit. Not perfectly straight like it's a glass eye. Very cool. You can see the incredible detail on his little kerchief there. I suppose this is an ascot. Is that an ascot? Sure, why not? The individual threads on the buttonholes here, brass on the buttons themselves, the pauldrons, is that right? Is that what these are called? I think that's what they're called. Or something like that. I'll look, paulders, I don't remember. They look really nice though. Individual thread on them as well. Just very, very, very nicely done. This dark blue on the jacket looks fantastic. It's got a nice black wash on it. You can see how as you turn it, it's kind of picking up the properties of both black and blue, so it gives it a real nice dimension, which is really nice. The jacket is semi-soft goods. It's like a rubbery. You can look inside and you can see his tan vest, waistcoat. I'm not sure. I guess it's a vest. I don't know. I'm not very good with my colonial American uniform lingo. I'm not sure jargon, but it looks very nice. It's a harder plastic on that. It's not as soft as some of the other parts. They do actually use a lot of softer pieces on this figure. Like the coat is a little bit softer, not as soft, but you can see here we've got, this is very soft here. We've got a lot of torn clothing to where they've made it so that it can kind of create movement where it doesn't look like it should move, so it's very cool. The hair is very well done. He's got this really, really nice pattern, actually like sculpted into the head. It's not just a blob of rolls. It looks fantastic, and it's of course got its own wash on it to kind of bring out those details. On the back, we have his gear works here. Very, very cool. We've also got them on the hips as well, but they're less impressive. These are really cool because you actually get to see how all of it works. And what this is really neat here, this is actually a softer plastic here, like almost a rubber strap that goes over here. So you can see, like, if this wasn't glued down up here, how this would actually work. So very, very, very cool. And these are your 2 points where you can put in your flags. And down here, I think these are actually to help keep the flags kind of in check. Once you've got them on there, you can just kind of keep the fabric rolled up if you prefer. You know, very cool. The jacket is pinned back here on the side, and it's got these nice gold buttons doing that. Just really, really, really nicely done. Very, very impressed. You can see the burnt marks here on the pants. These are all sculpted and painted on. It just looks really fantastic. What I really like about this figure is how he's so damaged. You can see parts of his skeletal structure underneath. So like even though he's got the porcelain hands on here still, underneath you can see where the jacket's torn here, there's like a robotic structure. Same with the pant legs as well. This is all, as I said, this is a soft goods here, but you can see the metal workings inside. There's nice brass skeleton. So very, very cool and very nice boots. Not detailed on the bottom, but he does have peg holes, which is good because he is going to be probably pretty back heavy. He's got this huge apparatus here, and then he's got the flags on top of it. So get a little more light over here again. So very, very cool on that. As articulation goes, he is pretty articulated, but some of the joints do make me a little nervous because they just, the design of it is so unique that I'm not 100% confident moving them. But he does have the ball jointed head, as I said. What's good is he's got, on this head at least, on this he's just got the single ball joint down at the bottom, but on this head he's got the ball joint that goes into his chest, but then another ball joint that goes into his head. So he can get some more unique poses with this head than he can with the other. But because of this collar, it is going to be hard to get like too much tilt or anything. But you can see, kind of get some wacky robot looking stuff going on there. Because he's got that double jointed neck. Very, very cool. His shoulders are swivel hinges, so they go forward and back. And you'll have to watch out for the spalders. I don't remember what they're called. But they do hinge outward to about there. So very nice outward movement. This one I'm not able to get moving too easily, and because of the construction of this arm, I'm a little nervous about trying to move it any further, since that is his gun holding arm as well. But you'll see on this one, he's actually got the swivel hinge in the shoulder, and he's got swivel hinges on both sides, or rather a swivel hinge here, and then a swivel here, and then a hinge here. And then because this is a softer rubberized plastic here, no matter how you move the arm, the sculpt kind of moves with it. So if you straighten his arm out like so, you can see he's got like all this extra loose torn jacket hanging down, but it also pushes down closer to his hand. So if you start to bend that, which makes me very nervous because this is thin plastic, but it seems to be fairly sturdy so far. But you see, if you bend it, it pulls back off of the hand a little bit, which is really nice. Now on this, he's just got a standard swivel hinge elbow, but you can see where the plastic is a little stressed there already. It's because this is very tight around here, so I actually had to turn the arm sideways, bend it in, and then turn it back to get this much of a bend out of it. So not a perfect 90 degrees out of this one that I'm able to get thus far. This one actually goes a little bit better than 90 degrees because of the design of this single hinge elbow. And we do have ball jointed wrists on both sides, so we've got nice motion there. You see that very well. Very cool. I think I might have to add more light to this desk. But he's got a ball jointed torso. You can see it's a waist rather. So he's got a little rotation there. The coat's a bit stiff, so I don't think you're going to get a ton of rotation out of it, but you get some, and then some. You can see there's some forward back there. He's got ball joints in the hips that are set upward into it, so he's not going to get a ton of range out of the hip. This is a soft, or I'm sorry, no, that is hard. I thought that was softer than it is. No, it's a hard piece right there, his cod piece. Yeah. So, but the ball joints go down the legs like this, so you don't get a ton of range of motion out of them. About what you get out of a Walking Dead figure from McFarlane, if you're familiar with that joint. You're only going to be able to get that one joint of access. So, but not bad because these guys aren't acrobats or anything. They don't move a ton. But yes, you can see that he does have swivels at the tops of these of this skeleton here that's exposed, but it is very tight in there, and because of this being such rigid plastic, I'm very nervous about moving it too much, but you should be able to do that. Excellent range of motion in this knee, the coat notwithstanding. You can see he's got a very nice 90-degree bend there, so very, very cool. I don't think it swivels at the top of the boot. I'm nervous again about moving it because of this being such rigid plastic, so I'm not going to try to move that too hard. But there may be an articulation point here, but it's not really that important because this is on a ball joint anyway. It's mostly limited to a swivel. It's kind of like if you've had any of their quarter scale figures lately, where there's a swivel, but not a whole ton of, you know, back and forth. You can see there's a little bit of back and forth, but not enough that I want to test it to make sure to... It could have more range, but if I move it too much and it breaks, you know, it's a $30 figure, so that's a lot. In this, you can see, same kind of deal, just a little bit of rocking action. Now, on this knee, I'm not getting a lot of range of motion out of it because I am scared. It's got these rubber parts, it does make it a little harder to work with these exposed elements. So you can see how I'm putting quite a bit of pressure on there and only getting a little bit of yield. So I don't really want to mess with that too much if I can help it. But as you can see, a pretty articulated figure overall, and a big figure to boot. Let me get in a couple other figures just so you can see how big this guy really is. And here we've got some more action figures in the shot, and I'll pull back so you can see just an absolute massive figure. We've got 6-inch Flash and Boba Fett here from Total Heroes and Star Wars Black. 5-inch figure, 5-inch roughly, I guess it's more like 475. From McFarlane of Glenn from Walking Dead. Standard 7-inch figure. This is Wolverine from the Wolverine by Marvel Select. So you can see this guy is probably about maybe 8 inches, 8.5. I've heard some reports of 9 inches, so maybe people have a better eye than I do. That's completely possible. But yeah, $29.99 is what I paid for this guy. You will have to pay for shipping unless you can find him, you know, free from Amazon. I have not seen him in stores yet. I don't know, being a deluxe figure, if he's actually going to make it to stores. I'm just not sure on that, so I don't want to get your hopes up if I'm wrong. But $30, considering a normal figure is about 17, 18, and probably should be closer to 20 or 22. I would say it's probably a pretty good deal. You've got these wonderful, huge, I mean, look at this. This actually, if you put this at like head height, it actually goes down and curves onto the floor. Like, this is a huge, from the tip, it actually goes up that high. So these are really, really, really big extra pieces here. You get 2 of those. You get the alternate head, which I really like because they did not have to include this, and it's a really cool little piece. It's got a lot of detail on its own. It's even got, I didn't show off some of the paint. It's got some kind of almost like scorch marks or just non-polished spots on the edges of the mask. Just really, really cool. So they didn't have to do this, but they did. They threw it in, which is very awesome. And the wonderful Pepper Mill, which has this great action that of course you don't need, but it is fun when you notice that it's there. So that's really cool. I would say $30, still a really good deal. Even if you pay $8 shipping or so, that's still, cheaper than a lot of toys that are out there, to be honest. I mean, the Japanese toys that I'm so fond of are getting up and up and up. So $30 on this guy is not bad. If you can find it in stores, and I really, really hope that this is going to make it to stores. I haven't heard anything about FYE or anything, but if this guy makes it to stores, I would definitely recommend picking him up. If you have the extra cash, you can order him online, or if you're just a Bioshock fan, order him online. He's really cool. I don't think you'll be disappointed, and you may have a little more courage when it comes to moving joints than I do. So that's pretty much it on this guy. If you do have any questions or comments, please throw them in the box below. I'm glad to be back, and I will be happy to answer any questions that you have. I'm haven't done this in a while, so if there's anything I missed or anything, please feel free to ask. I'd be happy to go into it with you. So yeah, that's it. Comment if you want to see more great videos. Well, I think they're great. But then again, I'm really full of myself, so if you want to see more videos, they're probably pretty subpar. You can go check out my channel or subscribe, and I will be posting more great NECA stuff. The more Bioshock Infinite stuff they release, the more I'm going to buy. So I'm pretty much all in on this line. They've said that they're going to make some more of these Patriots, or they're hoping to at least, so maybe Abraham Lincoln in there somewhere or something. I can't remember who all showed up in the game, but yeah, definitely. If you want to see some more Bioshock videos, subscribe, and I will put them up as they come out, as I'm able to get my hands on them. So thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for watching, and that's it. I will talk to you later. Thanks, guys. Bye.